Welcome back to the Boot Tragedies. Last day of Saints minicamp. Of course, we had to leave with some fireworks because it's not the Saints if it's not the Saints, man. Alvin Kamara, he leaves practice, at least mandatory minicamp at the end, over contract disputes. Dennis Allen said he didn't know the reasons, but I mean, he's supposed to say that. So reports came out after that Alvin Kamara left because of contract disputes. This isn't any shocking revelation. This isn't like, why is he leaving practice? This mandatory minicamp, he showed up, he did his part. I mean, they're not really doing nothing for these 3-day minicamp anyway. So we'll talk about it though. We'll talk about it. He's leaving practice. Obviously, he wants a new deal. What that deal entails, we don't know yet. But obviously, this has to come off the the fact that CMC just got paid. CMC just got a big contract from the 49ers, and that's well deserving. He had a really, really good year. Led him to a Super Bowl appearance. Best running back in NFL. I held out hope for the longest, trying to say it with Alvin Kamara, but CMC has definitely took that over. And it's the last year of his deal. I'm not going to put it all on, the CMC thing, just because it's the last year of Alvin Kamara's deal. He's set to make $22.4 million next year. That's never going to happen because it's zero guaranteed. It's just the way his contract was set up. So he definitely needs a new deal. Actually, we can go pull that up at the moment in a second. But let's pull up these running back contracts. From an Alvin Kamara sign, Christian McCaffrey just got a new one. So as you can see, Christian McCaffrey, $19 million a year. Alvin Kamara still sitting at the second highest paid running back when he signed $75 million deal, $15 million per year, had 34 guaranteed. Then you got Jonathan Taylor, who just got a contract, Saquon Barkley, who just moved to the Eagles, Josh Jacobs. All of these guys that are just signed, $12 million, $14 million. So maybe Alvin Kamara wants a contract in that ballpark. Maybe he wants CMC type of deal. But he obviously wants a new deal. And I mean, obviously, that's your last year of your deal. You're going to want that. You're going to want some security, especially being a running back, that's 29. Now, let's talk about it a little bit. What does he actually want? That's going to be a big deciding factor on, how the Saints maneuver, my opinion on it. Because if he wants to be the highest paid running back in the NFL, do he wants to be on par with CMC? Does he just want more years on his deal because he's going into his last year of his deal? This might be his last one. He might want to, just a little extension. Do he want a 4-year deal, 5-year deal where he's going to be, under contract to 34, 35-ish? Like, it all depends on what Alvin Kamara wants. I don't know what he wants, so I just can't judge off that. But I'll give some hypotheticals. If he wants to be the highest paid running back in the NFL, absolutely not. Absolutely not. If he wants CMC money, absolutely not. Hey, it's not my money to give, but that's just my opinion on what the Saints should do and how they should maneuver. $20 million a year, just absolutely not. Now, if you want Jonathan Taylor's money, Saquon Barkley money, Josh Jacobs, Joe Mixon, DeAndre Swift, Tony Pollard, those guys, absolutely, I would give him a Josh Jacobs deal in a heartbeat. 48 total, 9 a year, 13 guaranteed. I would give him that deal in a heartbeat today, right now. Sign the paperwork. Now, if he wants that old Alvin Kamara contract or CMC contract, I don't know. Maybe he gets like a 1-year max, max contract, not really a max. Maybe he gets, the 1-year contract at the same price. I'll do that as well. So, I mean, it's things the Saints can do. Like, if he wants to continue to make this $15 million per year, $16 million per year, we can do it. But the years aren't going to be 4 years. You just can't do that as the Saints. You can't just be paying a running back. I love Alvin Kamara. You just can't do it. You just can't do it. You can't be paying a running back at 33 years old. So if he wants this same type of deal for maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, then I'm willing, to do that as well. I'm sure that the Saints are going back and forth with him on that. But let's look at these guys in the NFL. We got Christian McCaffrey. I don't know why this changed. It's just sorted by name. But we go to CMC. Let's pull up the CMC stats, man. Look at these numbers. You look at these numbers and you tell me if they're equivalent to Alvin Kamara. Look at this. Almost 1,500 yards, 14 touchdowns. Obviously, played for the 49ers. We can give him that. 5.4 carry. But even when he was with the Panthers the year before, still averaging 4.6 yards a carry. That's with the Panthers. And they were terrible. 4.7, 4.5. Then you go into the 2020s and, pre-COVID. I don't really care about these numbers. But obviously, really, really good from Christian McCaffrey. You can look at his receptions. I mean, really, really good. You can't get CMC money. I don't care if you blame the offensive line, the offensive coordinator. You just haven't produced like CMC. Now you go look at Jonathan Taylor. His numbers playing for the Colts. Averaging 4.4 yards to carry. You know, had 7 touchdowns, didn't play a whole bunch of games because he was hurt, so only had 741 yards. But the issue is Jonathan Taylor, 741 yards, 4.4 a carry. You got Alvin Kamara, who played in 13 games, and still didn't rush for that many yards. You know? So the yards per carry just hasn't been up since he's been the last couple seasons. I just talked about him in my last video. Players that needed to step up. Players that needed to step up this year, and Alvin Kamara was on that list. On that list, averaging 3.9 yards per carry, 3.7 in 2021, 4.0 the season before. He just hasn't been Alvin Kamara. Like I said, it's a lot of things that may play a factor in that, but he just hasn't been that. So, obviously, this is going to be a situation that you know everybody's going to monitor. It's Alvin Kamara. He wants a new deal. I mean, obviously, that's big news. That's big news. And let's just pretend. Let's just take a shot in the dark, like the worst case of the worst case scenario happens, and let's just say Alvin Kamara, hey, he's done. He ain't playing for the Saints no more. He don't show up. They can't figure out a deal. He's not playing running back for the Saints this year. Let's kind of look at this depth chart. You got Jamal Williams. You got Kendre Miller. And I mean, the buck stops there. Let's be honest. You have to go look for a running back, maybe trade for a running back, looking like free agency that's just not going to be there. Maybe Taysom Hill does it. Obviously, I don't see any world, any scenario with Alvin Kamara not playing for the Saints this year. Now, if you're talking about next year, maybe there's a world that can happen in. Maybe him and Jamal Williams won't return next year, and Kendre Miller maybe shows promise this year. Maybe he steps into that role. Maybe you'll draft a running back. You don't know. That's way far down the line. I think Alvin Kamara at least be with the Saints for the next 2 seasons, in my opinion. At least through Carr's contract. That's my opinion. I think they're going to try to keep all of this together from Derek Carr, Alvin Kamara, maybe Ryan Ramczyk if he can hold out, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, Tyron. I think all of these guys, Lattimore, this big nucleus of guys they're going to have, they probably give it 2 more years. Maybe they give it 1 year and it's just super, super terrible this year and they just say, you know what, fuck it, blow it all up. But I think they're going to try to keep that together for 2 years, especially if they can win 10 games, make the playoffs this season, try to add some pieces, things like that around those guys. So it's very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Like I said, this is not really, really big news just because, I mean, it's expected. This is the NFL. This is what happens. He wants a new deal. He left mandatory minicamp. Hopefully they can get this figured out. And I'll be ready to talk about it as soon as they do. See what type of deal he gets from the Saints and see what type of deal the Saints are willing to give up. This is a big moment for Mickey, in my opinion. Big moment. Big moment. We'll see what happens. I can tell you one thing about the guys in the locker room in NFL. You pay these outside guys like Derek Carr and whoever, blah, 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 and you don't pay the guys in-house, players tend not to like that. I think it'll all get settled, all get resolved fairly soon. And we'll see what happens. But thank y'all for tuning in once again. As always, this is the Boot Tragedies. And I'm out.